ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम्
अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम्
अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम्
आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम्
आश्रयेभीष्टसिद्धये
आश्रयेभीष्टसिद्धये
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान्
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान्
अतीतद्वैतभानतः
अतीतद्वैतभानतः
गुरूणाराध्य वेदान्त सारं भक्ष्ये यथामति।
गुरूणाराध्य वेदान्तसारं भक्ष्ये यथामति।
वेदान्तो नाम उपनिषत् प्रमाणम्
वेदान्तो नाम उपनिषत् प्रमाणम्
तदुपकारीणि शारीरकसूत्रादीनि च
शारीरकसूत्रादीनि च।
वेदान्तः कः? वेदान्त उपनिषत् प्रमाणम् एव वेदान्तः इति नाम्ना ज्ञायते। तदुपकारीणि शारीरकसूत्रादीनि च Vedantaha eva iti. Tadupakarini, Tadanusarini. There is a part of Veda. There is a part of Veda as mentioned by the Tikakara, different Tikakara. Apo Deva. 3 Tikas are there, 3 commentators. We will refer whichever we find when it is something they have to convey special, we will refer. Apodeva, another Tikakara, he says, Tadanusarini iti Patavedaha api asti. Tadupakarini Shariraka Sutradini cha Shariraka Sutram Brahma Sutradini. Vedanta is presented analytically by Shariraka Sutram, Brahma Sutram. It's an analytical approach to the Tatparyam of what the Upanishad says. So, Upanishad are the main Pramanam, Brahma Sutra, etc. They establish logically what the Vedanta or the Upanishad reveals. Since all have the Tatparya in revealing the same Tattvam, therefore they also can be called by the name Vedanta. Then what is the Anubandha Chatushtaya? That is said in the next line. Asya Vedanta Prakaranatvat.
Asya Vedanta Prakaranatvat.
Tadiyaihi eva anubandhaihi.
Tadiyaihi eva anubandhaihi.
Tadvatta siddhehe.
Tadvatta siddhehe.
Na prathak alochaniyaha.
Na te prathak alochaniyaha.
Every text requires the alochana of the Anubandha Chatushtaya. Asya Vedanta Prakaranatvat. Kasya Asya Grantasya Vedantasara iti Asya Grantasya Vedanta Prakaranatvat. Since it enjoys the status of being a Vedanta Prakarana. Prakarana means Vedanta treatise. Shastraikadesha Sambandham Shastra Karyantare Sitam Aguhu Prakaranam Nama Grantavedham Vipaschitaha. That is the definition of Prakarana Grantha. Since this enjoys the status of being a Prakarana Grantha, Vedanta, what Prakarana Grantha? Vedanta. There are Prakarana Granthas, not only for Vedanta, other topics also. But for Vedanta, this is a Prakarana Grantha, enjoys status of being a Prakarana Grantha. Therefore, Tadiyaihi Yavanubandhaihi Tadvatta Siddhehe. Therefore, whatever the Anubandha Chatushtayam is there for Vedanta, it serves very well for this text also. Therefore, doesn't require to be discussed separately. Iti. Otherwise, the author has to say what are the Anubandha Chatushtayam. He has to establish the Anubandha Chatushtayam of this Prakarana Grantha is same as that of the Upanishad. He has to establish. Therefore, here the author says this is a Vedanta Prakarana Grantha, therefore doesn't require any separate discussion. Otherwise, discussion is required. The Brahma Sutra and all, Anubandha Chatushtayam we discussed elaborately before the entry into the text. Athatho Brahma Jignasa. Ataha Brahma Jignasa Kartavya. Atha is sadhana chatushti sampatyanantaram. After gaining the qualification required for the pursuit of the Vedanta, for the study of Vedanta, therefore, kartavya, to be done. What? Jignasa kartavya, inquiry into what? Brahma. Brahma vicharaha kartavyaha. Atha, the word is sadhana chatushtayantaram. Then ataha, therefore, jignasa kartavya. That is Brahma jignasa kartavya. So Brahma is the topic. Who is adhikari? Sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha adhikari. So all these things are elaborately discussed by Bhashyakara in the Brahma Sutra. So that is called alochana. Like that, alochana not required for this prakarana grantha. Kivartam na avashyakam Vedanta prakaranatvat. That is the reason. The reason for why separate discussion not required is Vedanta prakaranatva. That is the hetu. Therefore, hetu panchami. The reason for the separate discussion not required is given. The reason will be in panchami vibhakti. Hetu panchami. Vedanta prakaranatvat. Vedanta prakaranatvam tasmat. Vedanta prakaranatvat. Vedantasya, Vedantanam, or Vedantasya prakaranam, Vedanta prakaranam. Vedanta prakaranasya bhavaha, Vedanta prakaranatvam. Tasmat Vedanta prakaranatvat. Na pratak alochaniyaha. All these things we discussed along with the commentary elaborately. Then the author says, he has to mention what are anubandha. We don't require separate discussion, elaborate discussion. But what are anubandha? That has to be mentioned. Anubandha chatushtayam. Anugrantam anubadhyate. Anugrantam badhyate iti anubandha. So grantam badhyate, that which connects the person to the text. Who will read the text? If you announce Vedanta class would be there, who will come? Only those who are interested, those who know what Vedanta is. I have heard about Vedanta. I've heard about the name Vedanta, or I've heard some lecture, read some text somewhere, some lines, not even the text, some lines of Vedanta, some interesting article. What after death? What is life? What is the purpose? From where we have come? What is the purpose of creation? What is that we are doing here? Like in Viveka Chudamani, the disciple as a teacher, Konama Bandhaha, what is this bandha? From where this has come? What is the solution for this problem of samsara? These questions, who have these questions? Who have this quest, those people only will venture into the study of Vedanta. Vedanta is not for all. Even if it is announced, it will be continue to be a secret. Gugyat Gugyatamam. It will be secret. So therefore, secrecy means this is what the secret. It is Paravaragasyam. What is Ragasyam? Only the interested people can venture into it. Among them also, those who have the necessary preparedness, those people only will continue, and those people further, they only can try to understand. It's a long way to go. Because all what matters is the adhikaritvam. Aneka janma samsiddhaha. Bhagunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. In Gita, it is not accomplished just in one life. It is a homework of so many lives. A person comes to Vedanta. The name Vedanta itself, by hearing the name itself, the person gets a feeling, gets some interest. That is because some seed has been sown in some other janma. We don't know which janma is. So that continues because of punya palam. So for those who have punyam, they only will venture into the study of Vedanta. And those who have more punyam, they will get a good teacher also. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So all these are encashment of the punyam. That is what the author is going to say. The adhikari must have earned a lot of punyam. How? by the performance of the karma, the varieties of karma, the upasana, which are prescribed by the Shastram. Therefore, Shastram, tradition, these are important. Without this, there is no Vedanta, there is no really spiritual pursuit. Without Vedanta, inquiry, what inquiry we can do? Self-inquiry. What is this self? We don't know. Self itself, we don't know. Then inquiry into the unknown thing. Inquiry into the unknown thing is not possible. When something is known or something is vaguely known, for clear understanding, we can do inquiry. But what is Atma itself is not known. Then how do we do inquiry? Who am I? Who am I will be a continuous question will be. Answer cannot be found. That is why Shastram is a Pramanam. Shastram reveals a Tattvam, and also by different Prakriyas it unfolds the Aikyam. All the questions, the basic questions, what a person has as a human being, as a child, a person, even a child has this question: what is his creation? How it is created? Where is God? All these questions find culmination in Vedanta. So therefore, it is the subject matter into which not many would be interested, only a handful. Manusyanam sagastreshu kaschit achati siddhaye. Bhagavan Krishna himself has said very clearly in the Gita. Tatamapi siddhanam kaschit ma veti tattvataha. Among the thousands, only a few would be interested, and among them also only an handful would reach the goal, because it involves continuous pursuit. It involves our time and effort in listening to and understanding and thinking on what has been learned. It requires continuous recollection of what has been learned, and till it is your nature, but till it becomes you. It is you only. It is not different from you. But as your name, as somebody calls your name, you turn back immediately without any hesitation. Like that, this tattvam, this dharma tattvam, atma tattvam, aham brahmasmi, that has to become. So it is a matter of practice. That is what is called nididhyasanam. In other words, nididhyasanam. Shravana matrena jnanam bhavati. Manana nididhyasanam. All these are required for dhrida jnanam, apratibandha jnanam. Pratibandha jnanam, apratibandha jnanam. Pratibandha jnanam is, even though a person has listened to Shastram, if the jnanam is pratibandha, is as good as ajnanam only. But if the person is an adhikari, then shravana matrena jnanam bhavati. So this is, in fact, this is the difference between Bhattamadam and Bhamati. Vachaspati and Bhamati, two different among Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta itself. Two different views are there. One is Vachaspati, other one is Bhamati. One says that Shravana Matrena Jnanam Bhavati. Other person say, no, Mananam and Nididhyasanam is required. There is no big difference between the two opinions, two matas. It's all same only. If a person is an adhikari, then Shravana Matrena Jnanam, Shravanam is a sadhanam. The person is an adhikari. Therefore, adhikari, adabandha. Who is an adhikari? That is important. Shravana Matrena Jnanam Bhavati. He doesn't have to listen to the whole Gita. Second chapter itself is enough. He will get up and go. Yes, I understood. But if the person is not an adhikari, then only requires Maranam and Nididhyasanam. So there is no difference really speaking between these two different opinions. There is only a slight difference, but difference doesn't count really. Therefore, this continuous listening itself becomes Mananam, and that also becomes Nididhyasana. These are the means. So one has to travel travel, enjoy this spiritual journey. Let the jnanam happens whenever it is supposed to happen, let it happen. But enjoy this. This truth is known. It is known. Then when it becomes doubt-free jnanam, when the jnanam becomes nishtha, that's a matter of time. It's a matter of practice and time. That will happen in over a period of time. Having commitment in studying Vedanta or not, that matters. That is a question. Therefore, the one who has that commitment is an adhikari. So adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojan. Who is an adhikari? And what is a vishaya? Adhikari must have interest in the vishaya. And what is a sambandha? Sambandha between the text and what the text reveals. Pratipadaka pratipadya sambandha. And the prayojanam is freedom. Ultimately, what a person desires is freedom from the sense of lack. It is not really from lack. If the lack is real, then freedom is not possible. It is only the sense of lack. Freedom from the sense of want, being a wanting person. Freedom from the sense of self non-acceptance. In fact, self is acceptable. For everyone, self is acceptable. But there is a notion of non-acceptance. If self is not really accepted, then what happens? Then there will be denial at every point. But everybody loves oneself. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Therefore, really everybody accepts oneself only. Everybody loves oneself only. Everybody likes and pleases self only. But there is a notion of self non-acceptance. That alone is samsara. If self non-acceptance is real, then it cannot go. Even if it goes, then it will come back. Because it is real. Because it is not real, therefore it is knocked off by knowledge. Jnanam. Therefore, self is ever accepted. There is no point and there is no time where self is not accepted. Everybody accepts, everybody loves oneself. So that is the prayojanam. Therefore, freedom. That is anubandha chatushtayam. Chatushtayam, a group of 4. Tatra anubandho nama.
Tatra anubandho nama.
Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanani.
Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanani.
Itaretra dvanda samasa. Adhikari cha vishayaha cha sambandha cha prayojanam cha. Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanani. Bhagavachanam. And parvat dvanda tatpurusha yogo parvat lingam bhavati. The last word is prayojanam is napumsakalinga. Therefore, the whole samasa is napumsakalinga. Pratipadikam is napumsakalinga. Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanam. Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojane. Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanani. Palam pale palani. Akarantaha napumsakalingaha. Adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojana shabdaha. Pratama vibhakti bhagavachanam. Palani. Similarly, adhikari vishaya sambandha prayojanani. All these things we discussed since we didn't have class for 2 weeks. Gap was there. So it's a quick recall. Now we are discussing the topic adhikari. That also we discussed with the commentary, the tika. Let us read. Adhikari tu.
Adhikari tu.
Vidhivat adhita veda vedangatvena.
Vidhivat adhita veda vedangatvena.
Apatataha.
Apatataha.
Adhigata akila vedhartaha.
Adhikata akila vedartaha.
Asmin janmani janmantare
Asmin janmani janmantare va.
Kamya nishiddha varjana purassaram.
Kamya nishiddha varjana purasaram.
Nitya naimittika vragyaschitta upasananushthanena.
Nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana anushthanena.
Nirgata nikila kalmashataya.
निर्गत निखिल कल्मषतया
नितान्त निर्मल स्वान्तः
नितान्त निर्मल स्वान्तः
साधन चतुष्टय सम्पन्नः
साधन चतुष्टय संपन्नः
प्रमाता.
प्रमाता.
Very exhaustive definition of adhikari. We keep saying adhikari, adhikari. Who is an adhikari? Who is qualified to read? That qualification one has to cultivate, or one has to discover the adhikari in oneself. That's called adhikaritvam. So it is not something. Adhikari is that for doing a PhD, you must be an adhikari. You must have done UG, PG, etc. Then only PhD is possible. A person who has done UG or +2 cannot do PG. Sarva adhikari. He has to become a qualified candidate. Here adhikari is the person is already there, is a core person. The core person is Shuddha Brahma, is Atma, that person. So he has to discover, or he has to embellish. He has to embellish himself to see that he is that person. It is self-embellishment. Adhikaritva is how to cultivate the adhikaritvam. It is self-embellishment. That's what adhikari is. Adhikaritvam, the status of being adhikari. Adhikaritvam. Because the truth is, you are Brahma. Whether you know it or not, that is the truth. That is your Swarupa. Since that is your Swarupa, therefore, what prevents from you knowing that? Because you are away from the truth. Not literally, not physically, notionally, mentally away. Therefore, make yourself ready for knowing. So, discover the person, the core person in you who can see this as Astamalaka, as the gooseberry in one's palm. Similarly, one can see this, have this vision. So that is called adhikari, tvam adhikari. The person has to discover himself to be that person for whom this vision is clear. So therefore here the adhikari, the definition is a complete definition. This deserves to be memorized. In fact, the Vedantasara also, like Tattva Bodha, is a grantha. All many definitions are there to be memorized. Pramata adhikari. Who is an adhikari? Not karta. In other cases, in Veda Purvaha or in the Karma Kanda, the adhikari is karta, the doer. Here, since there is no doing, how author beautifully has added the word pramata, the knower. Pramata is adhikari. No, not karta. Karta is not adhikari because there is no doing involved. Because moksha is not kritaha, kritena karmana mokshaha, akritaha mokshaha na sambhavati. Moksha cannot be produced. It is not created. It is not an event that is created. It is siddha vishayatvat, prapta vishayatvat. It is praptasya praptihi. Therefore, knowing is involved. Param ched jnatavyam. This is param brahma, aham asmi. That is to be known. Therefore, pramata. Therefore, pramata adhikari. So, adhikari, pramata. Pramata is visheshanam. So, therefore, when you say pramata, we have seen in the commentary, the Tikakara said, pramata iti katana deva spashtam bhavati yat ayam laukika vaidika vyavahareshu abhrantaha yathartha jnanavan. That is the meaning of the pramata, yathartha jnanavan, who has a knowledge of the thing as it is, yathartha jnanam. Yathartha jnanam, with regard to lokika, vaidika, vyavahareshu, abhrantaha, there is no bhranti, because knowledge is involved and he is a knower. He wants clear knowledge. He doesn't want unclear knowledge. He wants clarity about oneself. That is what here the vastu is, the vishaya is the vastu. So wants to have clear knowledge of the vastu. So that knowledge which is without Brahma, without delusion, abhrantaha. Abhrantaha yathartha jnanavan pramata. So pramata, when we say the person who has knowledge, clear knowledge, doubt-free knowledge, free from delusion, as an object is, as a thing is, he knows. That knower is called, is the pramata, the adhikari. So therefore, when we say pramata, to know the meaning of the Vedanta, Vedanta artha grahane, na kevalam pramatritvam apekshitam. Not enough to say that a person has to be pramata with regard to Vedanta, Vedantartha grahane. To know the artha, the tatparyam of the Vedanta, what the Vedanta reveals, it is not just enough to be a pramata. Adhikari pramata, the author could have stopped. Who is an adhikari? Pramata adhikari. Because knowledge is involved, therefore knowing, therefore knower, pramata. But the author doesn't stop there. Kevalam na pramatritvam apekshitam apitu shamadhi shatka sampattihi shamadhikam api apekshitam, and that is what is denoted by the word sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. The person who is a sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. So pramata, the knower, and sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. We don't know what is sadhana chatushtaya. We don't know what is sadhana chatushtaya. Sampannaha. Sampannaha, the one who is endowed with this sadhana chatushtayam, is called sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. Sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. Sampannaha is sampurvaka padadhatu ta pratyaya. The one who is endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. We don't know what sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, because the text starts now only. Now suddenly sadhana chatushtaya, the word is used. So how do we know what is sadhana chatushtayam? You can say we know, we have seen Tattvabodha and in Upanishad. Very frequently we take this word, we refer the adhikari by this word, sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha sampatti iti. But for anyone who is reading the text, who are new into, because this Tattvabodha, this like Tattvabodha, Vedantasara also studied by the beginners. Some people they study Tattvabodha, some they study Vedantasara. In fact, I studied Vedantasara only first, then only Tattvabodha. Other way. Actually, Tattvabodha first and then Vedantasara. But I studied Vedantasara first and then Tattvabodha. So for me, I don't know what is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna. First time I'm coming across this word, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha. Sadhana Chatushtaya, what is that? We don't know. Sadhanani Sadhanam Chatushtayam Sadhanam, fourfold sadhana, disciplines. So that is the unknown word, number one. So it means the author introduces new words, and those words the author will explain later. That is the connection. The previous line is connected to the succeeding line. The line, it's a flow. You can see the flow. So sadhana chatushtayam, that is not known. What is that? We don't know. Just we know the translation. Fourfold qualification. One who has the fourfold qualification is an adhikari. So number one, sadhana chatushtayam not known. Fine. Then Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha Vedanta Grahanartham Kim Avashikam Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha Swantaha Swa Antaha Antakaranam. Antaha is Antakaranam. Swa Antakaranam. That is one's Antakaranam, the mind. That is Chittam. Chittasya Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha. Chittasya Nirmalyam. Chittasya Nirmalyam Nitantam Apekshitam. The Chitta Shuddhi. Chittasya Nirmalyam, the Nirmalatvam, free from Mala, free from Dosha. Nirmalatvam. Nitantam, completely. Completely the Chitta, the mind should be free from Mala. Mala is what? Ragadvesha. How do we know? Bhagavad Gita. We have seen repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita, Ragadvesha is the Mala, or that which limits oneself, not really limiting, causes a sense of limitation. That is, they're all Mala only. This Mala also, that which causes a sense of limitation means that is Ajnanam is a cause, is what it causes. But what is the cause of that Ajnanam also to be known? There are Mala at different levels. So one Mala is Ajnanam. Other Mala is this Ragadveshadi Mala. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, this Ragadveshadi Mala. Ajnanam, of course, it is the ultimate cause. Because of that, one has Abhimana with the Shariram, Abhimana with the mind. Therefore, the person has Raga, the person has Dvesha, Raga for Ishta Vastu, Dvesha for Anishta Vastu, Prapti. And the person has Kama, Krodha, Lobha, because of which the Sharira Abhimanatvam, the Kosha Abhimanatvam, the Samsara is strengthened. That is the Mala. So Mala at the different levels. This Kama Krodhadi, that is one Mala. Ajnanam is the Mala. For Kama Krodhadi Mala, for Ragadvesha Mala, how do you handle? That is handled by Karma Yoga. That is, author is going to say that. And the Vikshepa, the scattering of the mind which is not focused, not one-pointed, which is scattered all over, which cannot be fixed on a subject for a length of time. That Vikshepa Buddhi, that is also a Mala. So Mala at different levels. First, the Mala at the Ragadvesha level, then Mala at the Vikshepa at the level of the mind, Antakaranam, and finally the Mala is, that Ajnanam is a Mala, which as though separates the person from the Jivatma from the Paramatma. So three Malas are there. Final Mala is Ajnanam. So Ajnanam is the final Mala. Why don't we deal with Ajnanam alone directly? No, that is not possible. That is why we talk about Adhikaritvam. Ajnanam itself, if the person is not qualified, he will not acknowledge Ajnanam. If the person doesn't acknowledge Ajnanam, if a person considers himself to be Jnanavan, then how will he attempt to removal of Ajnanam? And also, Ajnanam cannot be removed, which is the ultimate Malam, cannot be removed without removing the Ragadvesha Malam, without correcting the Vikshepa Malam. So the correction at these levels required so that Ajnana Malam can be tackled. Ajnana Malam tackled by what? Tackled by Pramanam, Shastra Pramanam, Shastropadesha. For that there is no any deliberation required. Just Shravanam, listening, understanding. Listening is understanding, not just hearing. Shravanam is not hearing, Shravanam is listening. Listening means understanding. Understanding removes that jnana. Whereas Ragadvesha Malam or Vikshepa Malam, these doesn't go away just by Shravanam. This requires deliberation. Therefore only Karma Yoga, therefore only Upasana. So by all this, that is the previous line, the author will say, Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha Yasya Antakaranam Nirmalam Bhavati. Nitanta, completely, totally. Chitta Nirmalyam Ityartaha. Nitantam Apekshitam. वेदांतार्थ ग्रहणे चित्त नैर्मल्यम नितांत चित्त नैर्मल्यम अपेक्षितम भवति. Therefore samadhikam sadhana चतुष्टयम आवश्यकम. For whom? Pramatu. Therefore चित्तशुद्धेः आवश्यकता भवति. चित्तशुद्धेः आवश्यकता भवति. Therefore तदर्थमेव नित्य नैमित्तिक कर्मानुष्ठानं काम्य निषिद्ध कर्मणां काम्य निषिद्ध वर्जन पुरस्सरम. काम्य निषिद्ध वर्जन, वर्जन is परिवर्जन, avoiding काम्य कर्म परिवर्जनम, निषिद्ध कर्म परिवर्जनम. काम्यानां काम्य कर्म, निषिद्ध कर्म. I don't know what is kamya karma. Kamya is a new word. Nishiddha also new word. Kamya nishiddha karmanam parivarjanam. Parivarjanam avoiding. Varjana purasaram followed by the removal of the avoidance of kamya nishiddha karma. But we don't know what kamya karma, nishiddha karma. It's a new term. The technical word. Author will explain what it is. Therefore, kamya, what is kamya karma? What is, because there are Vedic words, kamya. This Laukika also, there are different kamya karmas are there. But here, since definition is given from the Vedic standpoint, therefore, what is kamya karma? From the Vedic standpoint, the definition has to be given. What is kamya? What is nishiddha? So that also will be explained. Not only that, nitya naimittika karma anushtanam. Nitya karma, naimittika karma. We don't know what is nitya karma. Unless you are a Vedika, you don't know what is nitya karma, what is naimittika karma. Therefore, that is also a new word. So, kamya, nishiddha, sadhana, chatushtaya, nitya, naimittika, all these are new words. What about prayaschita? That is also not known. So, prayaschita karma, that is also will be defined. Upasanam, upasana also we should not take for granted. That is also not known. What is upasana? Upasana means general meditation. What meditation? Meditation also of Saguna Brahma Upasana is a Nirguna Brahma Upasana. That also the author will explain what is Upasanam. So Upasana Anushtanam Kartavyam, the one who has done, who has avoided Kamya Nishiddha Karma. Kamya Nishiddha Karma will be defined later. Followed by Varjana Purasaram. Kamya Nishiddha Karmanam, Kamya Nishiddha Varjana Purasaram, preceded by the avoidance of Kamya Nishiddha Karma. Then Nitya Naimittika Prahita Upasana Anushtanena, by the observance of, by the performance of Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, Prayaschita Karma. Prayaschita also is required. Prayaschita is for the wrong action committed before, to nullify the effect of that. Why do we need to nullify that? Because it may come as an obstacle, the pratibandha. Pratibandha in our pursuit, therefore, it has to be tackled. Therefore, prayaschita karma. Like the astrologers, they give prayaschita karma. If you do this, this dosha will go away. If you go to Rameshwaram and do Tilahoma, Pitru dosha will go away. Prayaschita karma. So upasana, then upasana anushtanam, all these things are done by the person by which, what happened? Nirgata, nikila, kalmashataya. Nikila kalmashataya, nirgata, nirgatam kalmasham, yasmat, saha, nirgata kalmashaha. It's a Bhagavri Samasa. Nirgatam kalmasham yasmat. From whom this kalmasha? What is the kalmasha? Kalmasha means that defects, dosha. That doshas are, what are doshas? That doshas are those which, because of which the antakarnam is ashuddham. Doshas are those which makes the antakarnam, the mind, ashuddham. So nitanta nirmala swantaha means shuddha antakaranaha, shuddha antakaranaha ityartaha. Shuddhantakaranaha, Shuddham antakaranam yasya saha adhikari. That person is the adhikari. The one who has got Shuddha Antakarana. For that only Karma Yoga is prescribed. And for Shuddha Antakaranam, what is required? Ashuddha has to go away. Kalmasham has to go away. Dosha has to go away. Dosha should be cleaned off, wiped off. Therefore, Nirgatam Kalmasham Yasmat, from whom this Kalmasha, that is Ragadvesha, Kalmasha, Vikshepa, that is Kalmasha. All these kalmashas are gone from whom? That person is called Nirgata Kalmashaha. And Kalmasha also not a little, completely, Nikila. So Nirgatam Nikila Kalmasham. Nikila is Akila, completely. Kila means part. Nikila is completely, totally. No shesha, no left out, no leftover. No leftover, completely. No shesha, no baki, completely, nikila. So, nirgatam nikila kalmasham yasmat saha nirgata nikila kalmashaha. Kalmasham is napumsakalinga. But here we are referring to the adhikari, pullinga. Therefore, nirgata nikila kalmashaha, the linga changes, bhurigi samasatvat. Because of bhurigi samasa, therefore, nirgata nikila kalmashaha. Nirgata nikila kalmashasya bhavaha nirgata nikila kalmashata. The status of being free from all the kalmasha, all the dosha. That is nirgata nikila kalmashata. Ta is the pratyaya. Tvam artha. Tasya bhavaha tatalau. That's a tadita sutram. Like ghatatvam, the status of being a ghata, tvam, or ghatata, also we can say, the status of being a ghata, the pot. Ghatata is Strilinga, ghatatvam is Napumsakalinga. So the status of being that, like tattvam, what is tattvam? Tattva bodhaha, tattvam, tasya bhavaha, tat tvam. Tvam is a pratyaya, not tvam is you. That is not the you there in tattvam. Tattvam means tattva, tasya bhavaha tattvam. The status of being that is what is tattvam. Tat, then tva is a pratyaya. Tva, it's not you, not tvam, you am, not that tvam. So tvam, tattvam or tattvata, you can say tattvata, the status of being that. Tattvata is Trilinga, tattvam is Napumsakalinga. Tvam artha, these are the pratyaya, like tiptasji, like that pratyaya, tadita pratyaya. So here nikila, nirgata nikila kalmashata, the status of being free from all kalmasha, dosha, defects. Taya, Strilinga, Ramaya, like Rama Shabda. Ramaya, by that, why that? Nitanta nirmala swantaha, because the dosha, all the doshas are completely gone from that person, or in other words, the literal translation would be, because of having the status of being free from all the dosha, Nitanta nirmala swantaha, shuddha antakaranantaha has got the antakaranam which is pure. Antakaranam is pure because from the person all the doshas are gone. How it has gone? By the avoidance of kamya nishiddha karma, by the performance of nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana. By that the person has gained shuddha antakarana. That is the connection. Again, we don't know what is kamya karma, what is nishiddha, nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana, sadhana chatushtaya. All these are totally new words. The author will explain. Now, anushtanam, nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana anushtanena. All this, there are two things. Anushtanam is one thing and parivarjanam is another thing. Certain karmas to be done, certain karmas to be avoided. What are to be done? That is do's. Nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana anushtanena. Anushtanam. These are to be done. What is to be avoided? Kamya nishiddha, karma, karmani, parivarjanani. These are to be avoided. So, performance of this karma and avoidance of those karma, this kamya karma, by which the person has gained by which the person has removed all the dosha, kalmasha, because of which he has gained the shuddha antakaranam. that person who is endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, who is a knower, that person is the adhikari. That person is the adhikari. Okay, then when did he avoid all the karma? When did he do this karma? I have never done all this karma, nitya naimita karma, all the Vedic karma, prashita upasana. I never done any upasana in this janma. A person can say, what upasana? Sandhya vandana, minimum sandhya vandana adi karma. What upasana? What puja? Some people have never done anything. Some even puja also. Would not have gone to temple also. That person would have come to study of Vedanta. How possible? It is not that a person has done in this janma. In this janma itself, he has done janmani janmantareva asmin janmani, either in this janma or janmantareva anya janma, another birth, previous birth. The person must have done asmin janmani janmantareva. That is why Bhagunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Aneka janma samsiddha. These are all gained by so many janmas. It's a very big thing. It's not easy. Interest in Vedanta is not a easy thing. It's not a joke. The person has got interest means he must have done homework. Still some pratibandhas are there, and that person has to keep working. So the person will reach either in this janma, will reach the goal, or in other janma, or maybe any number of janma. If you are on the right path, no worries, no problem. Let it take as many janmas it requires, no problem. So therefore, asmin janmani janmantareva. As there is a story, when the Buddha was told, you will have to take so many janmas as a number of leaves in the tree. Buddha was so happy. Only so many janmas I have to take. But the other person was sad. So many janmas I have to take. That's the difference. Because the number of leaves in the tree are so many, and for Buddha it is nothing. He said, it's only few janmas I have to take, only these many janmas. So he's so happy. So janma doesn't count. What counts is the commitment. What counts is sticking to this pursuit counts. Therefore, lifestyle also to be in keeping with that. One has to deliberately change the lifestyle. But because what has been earned, that is earned, you cannot even if you want to lose, you cannot lose. Nagi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Even the person who has ventured into this will never fall. That assurance is given by Bhagavan Krishna. Even if you don't want, it will come to you because you already ventured into it. You cannot escape. It is like entry into the mouth of the jaw. You will be swallowed by Vedanta. No choice. That is the punyam, the palam. That is why they say, if the student is prepared, the teacher will come. Many times I wondered about this statement. The student is prepared, teacher will come. I am prepared, why teacher didn't come? It means I think myself to be prepared. But Guru knows Bhagavan knows whether I am prepared or not. Till that preparation come, one has to wait. So when the seed is ready, sprout will come. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. That's all real, true statements. So the person has qualified himself in so many janmas. Asmin janmani janmantareva possible. Some are born jnanis. Some are the birth itself jnani like Ramana Maharshi. Some are they become jnani over a period of time. So all these are possible. How it is, we don't know. We cannot say. It all depends on the karma, what one has earned in the previous janma, what one has done in the previous janma, and what he had earned. How do we know that? It's a big network. Bhagavan only knows. That is why Bhagavan is Sarvajnaha Sarvavitu. That's why we surrender to him and we pray to him. Okay, the person now he has done, and simply he will avoid the combination of the karma and perform. No, he must have the knowledge of what is that. Therefore, only he says, Vidivat Adita Veda Vedangatvena Apatataha Adigata Akila Vedhartaha, referring to the person. The person, therefore Veda Adhyayanam is required. Swadhyayaha Adhyetavyaha. Veda Adhyayanam is required, and Veda Adhyayanam along with Vedanga. Vedangani, Shat. Shiksha, Kalpa, Niruktam, Vyakaram, Chandha, Jyotishamiti, Chandas Jyotishamiti, Vedanga. At least if not, at least Vyakaranam is important. So by which the one who has Akila Vedartaha, Apatataha, Adhigataha Bhavati, because he knows, therefore only he performs Nityanimiti karma and avoids Kaminishita karma. He has studied Veda, therefore only he knows do's and don'ts. What is to be done and what is to be avoided, he knows. Otherwise, how will he know which is to be done, which is to be avoided? But here the question comes, he has done Veda Adhyayanam, then why should he study Vedanta? He has got a general comprehension of the Veda. Veda Adhyayanam he has done, where he did Ashtavarsham Brahmanam Upanayita Ekadashe Rajanyam Ityadi Vidhi is there. So Veda Adhyayanam he has done in the Veda Patashala. So there he would have studied the Veda, he would have memorized the Veda, and would have, by the teacher, instruction of the teacher, he would do certain karma, Nityanimiti karma, and avoid, and teacher would have advised him to, as per the Veda, avoid karma. All these things he has learned from the teacher and from the Veda. So that is Vidhivat. Vidhivat is with that going to the teacher, Guru Upasadanam. As a brahmachari, he would have gone to Veda Patashala and studied Veda and got a general understanding of the Veda. That person. Not the complete understanding, not that much understanding required for inquiry into Vedanta. That is the next step. The person knows what is Veda, what is Vedanga, whatever required for the study of Veda, he knows. He has got apatata. That word is important. Apatata. Apatata. Apatata means general knowledge of the Veda, entire Veda. Veda has got Mantravaha, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranya, Upanishad. As a brahmachari in the Veda Patashala, focus will be on Samhita, all the Vedic mantra to be the Kantastam Kraniyam. You would have memorized all the Veda. Then you would have learned some Brahmana also, how to perform the karma, how to perform the ritual, etc. Then some upasanas. And of course, the Upanishad also, Vedanta also, not in depth. He knows, you would have heard what is Brahma. Apatata Jnanam is, Swamiji used to translate, paperback knowledge. You'd have heard in some lecture, some discourse, Brahma, Brahma iti. So Brahma, that word is known, but you would not have inquired into the word. Not vichara, you would not have inquired into the vichara of that word. That is a separate study. That is what the sannyasis do. In the last ashrama, sannyasa ashrama, they do. Not in the brahmacharya ashrama, not in the grihastha ashrama, not in the vanaprastha ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama, the person gets the overall knowledge of the Veda. And all the karma anushtanam he does in the grihastha ashrama. When he grows out of this, then he goes to the upasana stage, where he does meditation, and finally comes the Upanishad. But knowledge of the Veda is required in the beginning. General knowledge, general understanding of the Veda. Veda is of two parts, Veda Purva, Vedanga, Karma, Upasana, etc. All this knowledge is required. So therefore, this knowledge which he has gained, and performed the karma, prescribed the karma of the Shastram, avoided the Nishidha karma, Asmin Janmaniva Janmantareva iti, that person who has done, that person is an adhikari. He is a fit person, he is a qualified person. Then we are studying Vedanta. Have we done all this? We would have done in the previous Janma. We don't know. Therefore, we are adhikari. Should we do again the karma, nitya nimitika? Not required. Either because of the restriction or not required. What is required is vichara, this Upanishad vichara, Vedanta vichara is required. Because all these have only brought to the study of Vedanta. So therefore, homework have been done already. The result is we enjoy. Therefore, we can attribute always the cause to the previous janma. In that janma, in those janmas, many janmas we would have done and qualified ourselves. Therefore, only we are adhikari to study the Vedanta. One Swami told, have we done all these things in all these things? No. Then how can we study Vedanta? We are not fit for studying Vedanta. That is not true. Here the author very clearly says, Asmin Janmani Janmantareva. That is important. The person would not have studied the Veda, would not have got the general knowledge of the Veda. In this Janma, he would not have studied. We have not studied Veda. We don't know what is Veda Purva. We have never studied Veda Purva at all. Even Vedanga also, Shiksha, Kalpa, Nirukta, etc. But we know Vedanta. We have come to Vedanta because already we would have studied, we would have known and performed, which has brought us to Vedanta. So it means in one Janma itself, everything, all these things cannot be done and accomplished. Difficult. That's why Bhagavan has spread this over many Janma. If the person is an adhikari, then the person is such a candidate, then he can do everything in one Janma. And one Janma he will get mukti and go away. But we have done homework in so many Janma that has resulted in this Janma to arrive at Vedanta. So, therefore, these have been done. That one cannot deny that. The person must have done homework, must have done all this karma sufficiently, so that now the person is progressed to the study of Vedanta. That person is an adhikari. Iti sadhana chatush. Now all the unknown words, the author himself will further elaborate. What is the first unknown word? Kamya karma. What is kamya? That we don't know. The author will explain what is kamya. So that is how the whole text will flow. Introduce new word, explain it. In the explanation, again introduce new word, further explain. So like that, the topics of Vedanta are covered. Now the next one is Kamyani. Let us read. Kamyani Swargadish Sadhanani
Sadhanani
Jyotishtomadini. Yes. Kamyani karmani. Kamyam kamye kamyani. Kamyani kamya karmani. Swargadi ishta sadhanam. That is sadhanam. Sadhyate anena iti sadhanam. The means to the fulfillment of the ishta, the desired thing. Ishta sadhanam. Sadhanam, which is, that sadhana means discipline, the means, which is meant for gaining the ishta. What is the ishta? Swargadi, Swarga, etc. Swarga, etc. Why etc.? Because Swarga is not the ultimate. There are other lokas. Pitru loka, Swarga loka, Brahma loka. So many lokas are there. 7 up. So therefore Swargadi, Anya lokaha. Anya loka. If Anya loka, other lokas are your ishtam, for which the sadhanas are there, those sadhanas are Kamyani, Karmani, Jyotishto Madini. One example is given. Naming of a sadhanam, a karma, like Jyotishtoma. Jyotishtoma is a karma, Vedic karma. Jyotishtoma, doing which the person gains Swargaloka Prapti, gains Swargaloka. The Kathopanishad we saw Nachiketa Agni. But Agni is the Kriya, the karma, performance of which the person goes to Swargaloka. And if it is done with Upasanaya Sagita Nachiketa Agni will take you to Brahmaloka. That is called Krama Mukti, Brahmaloka Prapti. Then from there, person gains moksha. Therefore, other loka, gaining other lokas. That is the definition. Sargadi ishta sadhanani jyotishtomadini. This is Vaidika definition. And there are many karmas which we do for gaining the Vishaya of this loka. That is also Kamya karma only. Here the author gives a technical Vaidika definition. So, now this Kamya karma, will it be conducive for moksha? No. Whether it is Kamyam or Nishiddham, Vividam api Tyajyam eva. Both have to be given up. These will come as an obstacle in our spiritual journey. But we should know what is Kamya, what is Kamya karma. That is why the definition is. Because the definition is there, doesn't mean one has to pursue. Who will pursue this karma? Those who have interest, those who have commitment in gaining the limited. So from a limited to another limited, from a finite thing to another finite. That is what traveling in samsara, from one samsara to another samsara. Everything samsara, where it's not different samsara. Whether it is this loka or Swarga loka, samsara is samsara only. Swarga loka also samsara. Lokatva, the very word loka itself tells you that is subject to limitation. So anything which is subject to limitation is samsara only. Therefore, Swarga loka also samsara only. Because there also you are after something, where seeking is involved, where you are after something, that is samsara only. That's why it is tyajyam. Kamyani tyajyani, kamya karmani tyajyani, nishiddha karmani api tyajyani, because they will come as an obstacle. Tyajyam eva. What is kamya karma? Kamaya hitani kamyani. Kamaya hitani kamyani iti. Palam uddishya shastre vigitani karmani kamya karmani. Palam uddishya, desiring the palam, ishtapalam, uddishya, in the shastra, the karmas which are ordained, those karmas are called kamya karma. So these karmas, jyotishtoma karma, are all ordained by or given by the Veda only. Then you may ask why Veda gives all this karma and distract the people. Not distracting. Some people, they want this, they want to go to Swarga loka, they want to enjoy the other loka. And Veda doesn't deny, as long as your desires are legitimate, nothing wrong in fulfilling. Dharma aviruddha kamaha akamasmi, Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, as long as the desires are in keeping with dharma, nothing wrong in pursuing them. In fact, Shastram encourages. One should not be lazy. In fact, one should not be lazy. As long as the person has the enthusiasm to do something, let him do. A time will come. The person will retire from all this thing and will start pursuing Vedanta. So, like a seed has to be seasoned. Similarly, this person also will be seasoned by the experience of all this. And he will finally understand all these things are limited. So, they are all subject to limitations only. Even Swarga loka anubhava, they come and go. Like this loka, since that understanding has to come, that understanding will come only because of anubhava. Therefore, only Shastra encourages. Please do. Na buddhi vedam janaget ajnanam karma sanginam. In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says one should not disturb the understanding of the ajnanis. Ajnanis only pursue all this karma, surga adhishta sadhanani jyotishtomadini. Let them do. We should not disturb the understanding of the ajnani. Because they are interested in limited things, limited pleasure. They are interested in pleasures which are limited. So let them pursue. We cannot thrust them with Brahmananda, since they are interested in Vishayananda, and that should be encouraged. That's what a Shastram does. But for a Vedantin, Shastram says these karmas to be avoided. This is only for a mumukshu, only for a jignasu, not for an ajnani. Ajnani has got adhikaritvam, whereas mumukshu, jignasu doesn't have adhikaritvam in doing this. If he has got adhikaritvam, then it's not a mumukshu. He ceases to be a mumukshu, he will be a ajnani samsari only. So therefore, one has to know what is kamya. That is why the definition is given. What is kamya, what is nishiddha. That has to be known so that a mumukshu can carefully avoid. For that only the definition, the descriptions are given. So kamyani, we will discuss further in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद.